Hey friends, Allison dropping in again to share with you another scrapbooking layout. Getting creative yesterday felt so darn good. I decided to do it again today. It helps that the weather is not very nice out. It's rainy and it's cool, and quite honestly, there's no better way to pass a rainy day than with scrapbooking and not packing to move. So I took the day off. This layout is fairly straightforward and simple. There is no mixed media whatsoever. There are lots of Cricut die cuts, of course. So the star and the little school and the apple that is sitting on top of the star was all die cut. The two rulers were die cut as well with my Cricut. These are all different Cricut cut files, and I grouped them together to create my own scrapbooking layout. I do design all of my layouts in Cricut Design Space before I actually sit down to create them. So I have a direction to go in before I even start the creative process. For me, it helps speed up the creative process in that I don't spend hours auditioning a bunch of things, trying to figure out where they're going to go, and then sticking them down only to realize later on that I hate it. It also saves me paper in that respect as well. And creating using my Cricut and designing it beforehand is a total lifesaver for me. It's taken the stress out of scrapbooking. The real stress, though, is in the designing, but it's okay because nothing needs to be glued down or tacked down. It can be deleted if I don't like it, and it can be rearranged to my heart's content until I am happy with the design in front of me. So if you ever wondered why I use my Cricut so much, that is why. So now that I skipped over a whole bunch of the creative process, I did add some enamel dots to the end of my title, which reads School Starts and then ... The full title is going to be School Starts Again Today. I'm going to stamp the phrase again today with an alpha stamp set that I have in my stash from Close to My Heart. It's actually one of my go-to stamps. It is called Modern Typewriter, and I stamp it in, I think I'm working on it right now, or I was, possibly. Maybe it's still coming. It's going to be stamped in Glacier ink, which is the same blue as the ruler. I also pulled out some of my wood veneer. I have a very small collection of wood veneer, but it's large enough, and I don't use it very often. And in this layout, I knew that I wanted to use either stamping or wood veneer if I had it, to replace die cut arrows. I knew that if I tried cutting the arrows with my Cricut, they would not cut very well because they were tiny and very delicate. And usually the smaller, more delicate items don't cut very well unless you blow them up to a large size. That wasn't part of my original plan, so I planned on using something different, which is a great way for me to sometimes dive into my stash and use products other than strictly cardstock. I did embellish with some die cuts as well, so there are some little stars that are going to be sprinkled around the page. And right now I'm just working on adding my photos. They were printed at 2 by 2 inches and then matted to some extra white cardstock. You saw me matting them to the cardstock and then trimming them out. I'm adding some craft foam to the backs of those to pop them up a little bit. And as you can see, there is 2 of them. I will be adding some Tim Holtz phrase stickers to the bottom of the left-hand photo. Oh, here I am working on the title. My eyes are not what they used to be. I'm not wearing my glasses today, so I had to pull my lamp just a little bit closer. That's why it's in the frame, so that I could see what I was doing. My craft room is in my basement. It's a dungeon, and there's not enough light. So sometimes I have to pull my light a little bit further forward so I can see a bit better what I'm doing. Later on in the video, it does, voila, disappear, and it gets put back to where it typically lives. Now I'm adding the Tim Holtz phrase stickers that I mentioned earlier. 3 of them go on this layout. 2 on the bottom of the left-hand photo, and then a 3rd one will go on an embellishment cluster towards the bottom of the page. I haven't gotten there quite yet. I am going to be adding some more apples to this layout. They're die cut as well. They were die cut from Stampin' Up! Paper pad, mini pad that I have in my stash. It's actually Christmas paper, believe it or not. In my last video, I also used products that were Christmas and winter themed, even though the layouts that I'm working on are not Christmas themed or winter themed yet. I'm working on fall right now, so I will be getting there. But if you have nothing to do this weekend and you are looking for something to do, head over to the Scrapbook Nerd Facebook group and join in the fun. There is a Christmas in July online crop that is happening this weekend, and you are invited to join. I will include the link down in the description box below so that you are able to get there if you want to play along. I do believe prizes are involved, so definitely check it out. I'm just working on my journaling right now. I'm writing my journaling directly to the layout base. I'm adding some lines as well. I always add lines with pencil first so that I can keep my journaling straight, and then I go over it with my pen afterwards. So that's what I was just doing. Now, I wanted to add some more stamping to this layout as well. I don't often stamp on my layouts unless it involves a title or a subtitle. And for something different, I thought that I would stamp a little phrase on a tiny little tab that I cut with my Cricut. There were 2 different stamp sets that I pulled out because there were a couple different words that I thought would work. In the end, I chose a phrase that says hooray, because this layout is about the first day of school and going back to school after the lockdown. And it was a big stuff, pretty exciting day, pretty nerve-wracking day as well for the kids. Every year is always a little nerve-wracking for the kids, but this year especially was hard for them to go back after such a stressful year, and then the stress of going back after the fact too. So I thought I would make note of that with this layout, and that's the story that I am telling. I'm nearing the end of my process video right now. I do add another wood veneer arrow to the trap space beneath the photos and my apples embellishment cluster down at the bottom. I pulled out one more wood veneer arrow and glued that after I moved it around a few times trying to figure out the best place for it, and plopped it right into that dead space right there. Last but not least, I'm adding some splatter with the black re-inker. This is from Close to My Heart. And that's it. I do have close-ups coming up. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I also hope you enjoyed my layout and my process video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and you are interested in watching more videos about Cricut creating, definitely hit the subscribe button so that you are notified every time I post a new video. I will be back again soon, hopefully, fingers crossed, with more creative inspiration. Take care, friends. Bye.